it down. Oh, KGW, you won't. This I won't.
Now at 7, a man under arrest after not only threatening an officer, but also hitting him with a rock. The entire incident caught on camera. Plus,
the county knew he was a convicted felon. I didn't know. None of our businesses know.
A local bar owner fed up after what he says is an uptick in crime in the Pearl District after 3 women were shot outside his bar, why he blames local policy for being soft on crime. And
stay where you are at this time. Again, I repeat, there have been 4 good parachutes.
a mid-air collision at an Idaho air show sending a military base into lockdown. Why a former Air Force instructor says the outcome of the crash was nothing short of a miracle. Sunrise streaming live at 7 starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Glad to have you starting off your week with us. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis are standing by with a look at the weather and traffic. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
You had a good weekend?
Yes. What'd I do?
Watch golf?
I did do that, yes. Here's a look at I had the big PGA Championship on over the weekend. Here's our Snookwinds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Cloudy skies, but no moisture being reported out of those clouds. The deck is thinner when you get inland and expected to continue to thin out for eventually a mostly sunny day coming. That's Salem Live, and here's the Rose City. You can actually see a little bit of blue in the cloud deck up top. 49 is the current temperature. So we're about 50 on average out the door, all dry, partly cloudy, 60 degrees at noon when the kids get out of school today, probably just mainly sunny, and around 67 at 3 p.m. today. Here's Chris.
Thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert on the 217 North flyover ramp. So as we'll take you there, you can see we've got an overturned truck right now on the ramp from I-5 North, I should say, to 217 North. We did hear from Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue that there were no reported injuries with this. It was just this truck involved. That's the only vehicle. That's the good news. The bad news is it's still there a good 90 minutes later and only the left lane. In fact, at this moment, it looks like no traffic is getting by at this point. So traffic is backed up right now on northbound I-5 approaching the 217 interchange. You can see back towards Carmen Drive and buildings. So obviously plan some extra time to get around that. We'll keep you posted for sure. The freeway drive, otherwise not in too bad a shape. Right now I-84 is about a 20-minute ride from Troutdale. The trip through North Portland just now starting to tighten up a little bit near the Expo Center. We're looking at about 13 minutes to get you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Matthew?
Chris, thank you very much. Well, we are following a developing case here in Portland after a man was arrested for attacking a police officer. Portland police released body camera video of that incident Saturday. The incident itself started Thursday night around 11:30 when a woman called saying a man had broken into her home with her children inside near North Overlook Terrace. She said before she chased him out, he, quote, threatened to kill them all. Officers found him near Overlook Park, but when he fought back when they tried to arrest him.
Not afraid of you, pig. Put it down. I'll kill you. Put it down. Oh, KGW, you won't. This I won't. I'll kill you. Don't punch me again.
The man hit the officer in the face with a rock, but as the video goes on to show, the officer was able to control the suspect until other officers showed up to help.
This morning, we're sharing newly released surveillance video of a shooting outside a Northwest Portland bar.
3 women were injured in that shooting outside the River Pig Saloon in the Pearl District. Libby Dowsett has more from the owner and why they wanted to share this video. Libby.
Well, the owner says he's frustrated with what he says is an uptick in crime in his neighborhood and downtown Portland. And he says it's the worst he's seen in 15 years of business. Now, the video he agreed to share with us shows the moments shots are fired outside River Pig last month. This happened shortly after midnight on April 27th. Police say the shooter, 31-year-old Shannon Lyons, was arrested last Thursday, accused of shooting 3 women. Those women's injuries were non-life-threatening, but River Pig Saloon owner Ramsey Hattar says it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Court documents show Lyons was convicted of first-degree manslaughter in Multnomah County back in 2014.
The county knew he was a convicted felon. I didn't know. None of our business know. But he's allowed to be on the streets carrying a weapon. I mean, obviously illegally, but still.
And Hattar says he's frustrated also with an earlier incident back in December, another stabbing a stabbing at the bar. And he blames what he calls a city soft on crime for that incident and other incidents in the neighborhood. So again, Lyons is set to be arraigned on the 26th. Now back to you.
Libby Dowsett reporting live. Thank you, Libby. Meantime, we're learning more about last week's shooting in Wood Village. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says the victim is a 13-year-old girl who remains in the hospital this morning. Investigators say the shooting happened around 4 p.m. Monday on Northeast Arata Road near a bus stop. Detectives believe that it may have stemmed from a fight and say that the suspect left the scene. The girl is expected to survive. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Sheriff's Office.
We have an update out of Gresham. The man accused of pulling a gun on another driver pleaded not guilty in court. Police say 19-year-old Junior Reyes Galindo pointed a handgun at a woman after she honked at him while he was driving erratically. Gresham police released that video you just saw. Officers say they recovered a gun when they arrested the suspect. He is due back in court in July.
Later today, a man is set to be in court for allegedly sexually abusing residents at a care facility, and officials believe he may have other victims. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says 25-year-old Oscar Marquez Alonso was working as a caregiver at a care home in the Raleigh Hills area when detectives found evidence that he was sexually abusing an elderly woman who was living there. He's facing charges including sexual abuse and sodomy. Detectives believe that he could have other victims and are asking anyone with information to contact the Sheriff's Office. And a reminder that if you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault, help is always available. Just call the number there on your screen, 1-800-656-4673 to reach the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Well, take a look at this video showing the moments 2 gray jets collided during an air show at Idaho Military Base on Sunday. Navy officials say it happened while the pilots were performing an aerial demonstration. You can see 4 parachutes deploy as the jets start to rapidly plummet towards the ground. The crash caused the base to lock down.
Stay where you are at this time. Again, I repeat, there have been 4 good parachutes that were seen.
The Navy confirmed all 4 crew members successfully ejected safely. Something an aeronautics professor and former Air Force instructor is calling a miracle.
That is a miracle when particularly jet airplanes come together. It's usually not a very good outcome. So that's a good outcome for today. When we start investigations, we find out that most accidents are not a single cause. They're usually a chain of events that cause the accident.
Both aircrafts were assigned to Electronic Attack Squadron 129 from Whidbey Island, Washington. The Navy has not released the crew's names, and the incident remains under investigation.
Well, it is 7:08. Time to get back over to Rod for a check of our forecast.
That is crazy, right, guys?
It's just
and the jets were like kissing each other, kind of, right? I mean, it's not like they, and then of course down to the ground, but. Great news that you saw the parachutes, as we mentioned in that story. Here's our reserve golf course camera from the Explore Tualatin Valley location out in Washington County. We have passing mid to high level clouds. I was up on the weather deck earlier, and you can see that the clouds are actually at a pretty good height. So there's no moisture falling out of these, and they are expected to thin out for increasing sun going into this afternoon. 46 out there in Aloha right now. Here's our Vancouver, the Springs to the waterfront camera. Again, cloudy skies, but very quiet. 48 degrees over at Pearson Airfield. It's 43 up in Battleground. Everybody's still in the 40s. We've had cool mornings as of late. Another cool morning on this Monday. 45 in Albany and 45 degrees in Salem. There's the chance of a few scattered kind of brief showers out across eastern Oregon later today. Otherwise, we're all dry. It'll be mostly sunny skies and 66 in Bend, 69 in Salem, 60 in Tillamook this afternoon. Again, the cloudiness that's currently being reported all the way out through the gorge expected to thin out for a nice day. Our 7-day is completely dry, and of course, it just like that takes us into Memorial Day weekend. 70 today, another batch of cloudiness tomorrow, giving us filtered sun at about 67. 74 on Wednesday as we start to warm up. I don't think we get hot this week, but we could be right around 80 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I have a 76 on Sunday, and some of the modeling is hinting at least a scattered shower threat on Memorial Day Monday. And of course, we'll keep eyeing that and fine-tune that forecast as the holiday gets closer. Here's Chris.
Okay, Rod, we are getting into the thick of roadwork season, and I wanted to start off with this. I-84 westbound, the exit ramp to Holiday Street and the Convention Center closed. That closed Friday night. This is a 3-week closure of that ramp. This is video from earlier this morning. That ramp now closed through June 8th. ODOT is going to be working on putting some footings down for a new sign bridge that's going to go over I-5 in the weeks ahead. So be aware of that. Obviously, your detour then takes you up to Broadway or Weidler. Back to the freeway south of town, the 217 flyover ramp is now closed at this point. It looks like they're working to get this truck that's been on its side here for better than an hour and a half now righted and out of there. But at this moment, the ramp from I-5 north to 217 north is closed and traffic is backing up. This is back towards Carmen Drive. You can see these folks anticipating getting on that ramp. Not able to at this moment. So obviously plan your workaround for that. No word on how long that's going to be closed, but hopefully we'll get that clear pretty soon, and we'll certainly keep you posted. Matthew, China, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. Still to come on Sunrise, another new Portland team making their debut over the weekend, why the Cherry Bombs' first preseason match was a booming success. And the Portland Fire closing out their first week. We have a preview of their matchup coming up next in your sports headlines when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in 2 minutes.
Want more Sunrise? We got you covered.
You can stream an extra 2 hours of live morning news on KGW streaming apps.
Good morning.
That means more local stories and extended coverage of breaking news.
Plus live weather and traffic updates as they happen.
And this is our first trouble spot of the morning.
We have a gorgeous day coming up.
We are live on KGW Sunrise weekday mornings from 5 to 9. Stream on your time with KGW.
Matt, how long is this break in the rain going to last?
About another day, Christine. Again, another atmospheric river hitting the northwest. This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
She just came from the Thorns game.
I did just come from the Thorns game.
She's doubling down on her soccer today.
Yes.
Well, it was a weekend full of soccer here at the Rose City. That includes the Portland Cherry Bombs, who made their official debut on Sunday with their first preseason match. And while it doesn't count towards their record, they still won the match 4-0. From May until July, Lentz Park will host 13 game seasons across both the Cherry Bombs and Bangers, with a layout that brings fans just feet from the action. We caught up with some of those fans who've been following the team since they were named.
It was amazing. The energy was incredible.
The vibe in here tonight is fantastic.
The vibe's already so good. Good luck, Cherry Bombs. We hope you have an amazing season, and we are so proud of you.
The Cherry Bombs' next game is Thursday against West Seattle Roadies.
Meantime, Portland Fire first week was one to remember, securing their first win with a buzzer beater followed by their first blowout loss. But now it's back to work, closing out this season opening 4-game homestand tonight in a game that they are favored to win. They're up against the Connecticut Sun, who is still looking for its first win of the season.
We've got to be prepared. We've got to be ready to execute. I think, Coach Rashid does a great job tactically, does some really interesting things, so they're going to challenge us. I think it's just more how we go into that with our principles of play, and I think the defense will really win that game for us.
The big story for the Fire is the health of starting point guard Carla Late. She's recovering from an ankle injury and is listed as questionable. Brittany Griner also listed as probable. She's been dealing with a foot injury.
Can't let the Sun get a win, their first win of the season against us, Rod.
No, it's kind of exciting. We're favored.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I don't think that'll be the case often, so yeah.
I mean, we're a franchise team. You just want to see your team playing hard and show promise for the future, but maybe we totally overachieved.
That's right.
This year, right? Here's a look at our satellite picture. Really quiet week coming up. We have a dry 7-day forecast. It's going to warm up, but it's not going to get hot. So really, we've got a string of very pleasant to warm days upcoming into Memorial Day weekend. There's an upper level high out here. It's just going to stay parked pretty much all week. The clouds kind of rotating up around it. It's a little what we call flat as forecasters. And by that, I mean the clouds over the top are still coming in kind of zonally from west to east. They're spilling in. Indications are this batch of cloudiness we currently have will be thinning out for a mostly sunny afternoon, but then we'll get another batch of passing cloudiness tomorrow. Futurecast is going to show you that. Here's this afternoon at 4 o'clock. It does open up. A lot of sunshine here on the west side. Shows just some frivolous, almost traceable amounts of scattered showers, mainly in some of the mountainous terrain out in eastern Oregon. And then we get rolling into tomorrow. Here's a push of some low marine clouds along the north coast and spilling into at least the North Valley. And then this shows kind of partly cloudy skies, but there's other modeling that shows the cloudiness spilling in tomorrow is more significant than what this is showing. So I look for tomorrow to be kind of a filtered Sunday after that overcast start in the morning. And then after that, there's really nothing I'm watching. We just go on a mostly sunny run. Astoria column camera, you can see the clouds there over the Astor column. Kind of a pretty look at the cloudiness this morning. 43 is the number. Winds are calm. Here's the dam and the Columbia River, of course, from the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. Also showing those mid to high level clouds passing through the gorge this morning. Winds earlier today were bouncing about 15 or 20. You can see it moving around a little bit there right along the Columbia. 53 is the temperature. And we have some brightness bouncing off of our state capitol down in Salem currently with mostly cloudy skies overhead, and 45 is the temperature. It's dry up into Seattle this morning, 48. So all of you driving north-south through the gorge, driving over the Coast Range, it's just all dry. 36 out in John Day, currently 40 in Baker City, and 41 degrees in Burns. Valley forecast numbers for you. Cloudiness to start, mostly sunny skies coming this afternoon, getting up to around 70 degrees, give or take. Same thing in Portland, 67 tomorrow, 74 Wednesday. There's still a surface high that comes in that gives us a touch of a northwest flow. So maybe one of these days there's a marine push of low clouds that I'm not picking up on right now. Otherwise, I've got right about 80 on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and still a dry Sunday. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Okay, Rod, we pick it up with this traffic alert on 217 northbound, specifically the flyover ramp to 217 north from I-5. You can see crews are working to get that truck that's laid down on its side there. That happened about an hour and a half ago. The ramp is closed at this point. TVF&R told us via email that there were no injuries reported with this single vehicle crash. But in the last 15 or 20 minutes, again, they've got the tow trucks in there trying to get that thing out of there. So in the meantime, the ramp, again, from I-5 north to 217 north is closed at this point. There you can see the traffic starting to back up towards Carmen Drive. So plan your workaround for now. No word yet on how soon they're going to be able to do that, presumably, now that they've got a couple of tow trucks there on scene. Hopefully that'll be soon, but we'll keep you posted. Here's a quick look at your drive times. No other major freeway trouble out there aside from that flyover ramp. We're off to a relatively okay start this morning, guys.
President Trump is renewing his threats against Iran as one of his close Republican allies is urging him to restart attacks. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with the latest details coming up.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
President Trump is stepping up his threats against Iran as negotiations once again stall.
And now a key Republican ally is urging him to renew attacks against Iran as gas prices continue to climb. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest.
President Trump this morning is refocused on Iran and renewing his threats, posting that the clock is ticking and the regime better get moving fast or there won't be anything left of them. That amid Israeli media reports the president spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu. On Friday, President Trump saying this about Iran.
We left their bridges. We left their electricity capacity. We can knock that all out in 2 days.
The ramped-up rhetoric comes as U.S. ally the United Arab Emirates said a drone strike sparked a fire at a nuclear power plant, calling it a dangerous terrorist attack, while Saudi Arabia said it intercepted multiple drones. Both have been frequent targets of Iran in a standoff over the Strait of Hormuz, with negotiations to end the war appearing stalled.
They don't know how to make a deal.
President Trump rejected Iran's last offer, saying it didn't deal with the nuclear threat. Senator Lindsey Graham, a close Trump ally, urging him to renew attacks on Iran.
I think the status quo is hurting us all. The longer the strait is closed, the more we try to pursue a deal that never happens, the stronger Iran gets. So what do you do next? You weaken them further.
As the unrest keeps forcing gas prices higher, the impact is trickling through the U.S. economy.
Price of gas goes up, everything goes up.
This family-owned grocery and deli in Wisconsin is fighting to avoid raising prices for customers.
Watching tomatoes triple in price from over the course of 1 month, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I have not seen that before.
While rising tensions raise the risk for more fallout. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, Russia has launched a fresh wave of strikes on Ukraine. The Ukrainian Air Force says more than 500 drones and 22 missiles targeted the country overnight, most of which were intercepted. Several regions were hit, including Odessa, where officials say a high school, kindergarten, and several apartment buildings were damaged. Now, this comes one day after Ukraine launched more than 500 drones in a massive attack on Russia, killing at least 4 people over the weekend. Ukraine says its forces had targeted an oil refinery and 2 oil pumping facilities in the Moscow region.
Multiple seemingly random shootings in Austin, Texas this weekend left 4 people injured. Police say at least 10 shootings happened between Saturday night and Sunday morning. 1 person is in critical condition and 3 others had minor injuries. 2 of the shootings happened at Austin fire stations. Police have 2 of the 3 suspects in custody with a 3rd still on the run. Officers say the suspects arrested appeared to be stealing cars as they moved through the area. Right now, there is a $1,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest.
Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, will be in court today. A judge will decide if prosecutors can admit the alleged murder weapon and other evidence in the case. Police arrested Mangione in December of 2024, days after Thompson was shot and killed in Manhattan. Officers say they found a 3D printed gun and writings about the healthcare industry in his backpack. Mangione's lawyers say the search was illegal, but prosecutors disagree. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
People need to wake up about what data centers are doing. They're increasing our electricity bills. They're taking our water.
Coming up in our next half hour, the Hillsborough community calling for people to step up and speak out against data centers. Plus, the Hantavirus cruise ship officially arriving at its last stop in the Netherlands. More on that, plus the latest on people in Washington being monitored after being exposed to the virus.
On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We're coming up on 7:29 on your Monday morning drive. We start with a traffic alert on 217 northbound. The flyover ramp from I-5 north to 217 north closed as crews work to get this truck, which turned over on its side early this morning, righted and out of the way. Now, the good news is from Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, they tell us no injuries were reported. It was just this truck involved. However, it's been on its side for a while, and within the last 20 minutes, they've had to close the ramp now so that they can get the heavy equipment in there and get that thing righted. Rod, I don't have an ETA to get this ramp open. We'll certainly keep you posted.
All right, thank you for that, Chris. Weather-wise, we're fine. No issues here. We have basically a mid to high level thin deck of clouds that's passing, and at times we're opening up a little bit of blue. There's a little bit of blue over our Rose City camera, but it's mostly cloudy overall, 49 degrees. Good looking day coming. We think eventually the clouds will thin and will be mostly sunny skies this afternoon. 60 at noon, 70 at 5 p.m., warmest we've been in a little while. I do have a dry 7-day forecast. We could be up to 80 or so on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Good morning. Take a look at this. 2 Americans were arrested in Japan after one of them jumped into the monkey enclosure to see Punch the monkey.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if you remember, Punch the monkey went viral after being abandoned by his mother and then was pictured clinging to his plushie. Officials say that one of the men jumped into the enclosure while the other filmed it on his phone. The man in the costume claimed to be a 24-year-old university student. Well, the man filming said that he is a 27-year-old singer.
Wow.
Why?
We just give ourselves such a bad rap
Yeah.
by doing stuff like this.
We're talking about them, so I guess they got what they needed and wanted.
Yeah, I guess so. What is the costume he's wearing, by the way?
It looked like, to me, it looked like President Trump.
Is that what it was?
I had to say, it looked like that's what the costume was.
Oh,
I could be wrong.
But
the
the head kept falling off, so I couldn't really pay attention. Oh, gosh.
Well, let's hope that person has an easy major, because I doubt if they're really that smart in the classroom. Here's a look at our Salem sky camera. We have some filtered sun popping through our state capitol right now. 45 degrees is the number. This is actually one of our sunnier cameras as well right now. These clouds are expected to continue to thin, and we'll go on to have a really nice afternoon. 49 degrees right now. Coming off of that cool weekend, right? We went 58 Saturday. We did hit 66 in the 5 o'clock hour yesterday. Today, increasing sun into the afternoon, 60 at noon. And I think we get up to about 70, which should feel very, very nice. Here's Chris.
Ron, thanks for that. We pick it up with that traffic alert on the 217 North flyover ramp. So we're going to take you live right now. You can see crews are working to get this truck that has been on its side now for almost 2 hours cleared from that ramp. So the update from Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, they told us that the driver of that truck was able to get himself out okay. No reported injuries. This is the only vehicle involved in the crash. However, you can see they've got some work to do to get this thing righted and get the ramp clear. And about 15 or 20 minutes ago, they actually shut down the ramp so that they could get the heavy equipment in there and get that truck uprighted and out of there. So at the moment, 217 North, the flyover ramp is closed. There's a backup getting around that. Your northbound solution at this point is probably to just continue to 99W and then work your way back over to 217. But guys, what a mess for the morning commute. Thankfully, no injuries reported, but we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding a missing woman. So take a good look at your screen. The Sheriff's Office says 61-year-old Janet Gray left Wood Village Care Facility Saturday, which is off Northeast 238th Drive in Halsey. Deputies say she has multiple health conditions and cannot care for herself. She may be heading to Washington County using TriMet. If you see her, call 911.
And an update on an investigation into a February shooting near an In-N-Out that sent a dad to the hospital. Kaiser police announced that the third suspect in that shooting, Anthony Taylor Manriquez, turned himself in on Friday at the Marion County Jail. Now, this comes after police arrested Ethan Armenta Lagunas and Gabriel Javier last Wednesday.
Happening today, firefighters plan to make a big showing outside City Hall later this morning as they rally against proposed cuts to the Portland Fire Bureau.
The mayor's budget plan aims to close a record $163 million shortfall, which includes cuts to fire services. KGW's Libby Dowsett reports.
Firefighters are hoping to rally support to protect our firefighters from those cuts and find another way to fill that budget gap. Now, over the past week, firefighters have been showing up here at City Hall for the debates on those cuts. Mayor Keith Wilson's proposed cuts include fewer on-duty firefighters, reduced administrative staff, and scaling back the overdose response team. Also, Fire Station 22 in the St. John's neighborhood is at risk of losing its only rig that carries water. Public safety bureaus make up much of the general fund, and the mayor's budget plan aims to close that shortfall with cuts to both fire and police. And here's some of that debate.
Anytime that we reduce the number of firefighters, that means we don't have the resources we need to be able to put out fires.
I doubt that there'll be a one with no cuts, but I think there are places that you can look that aren't frontline responders.
I don't think that's possible with the level of cut that we have to make, but we certainly need to be using a scalpel.
Some city councilors agreeing protecting those emergency response times should be a priority. One council member suggesting cutting council staff might be an option. Now, the rally is set to begin here at 9 a.m. In downtown Portland, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
Meanwhile, the city of Troutdale is trying to bring back its own police force a decade after that department dissolved. The city says it's just too expensive to continue the contract with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, saying income from property taxes isn't keeping up with the cost of public safety. So Troutdale wants a department that has 8 officers, a chief, and 3 supervisors, which would be about half the size it used to be and smaller than what's currently provided by the Sheriff's Office. There also wouldn't be any detectives or overnight supervision. The city manager says that department would still meet residents' needs, but the Sheriff's Office isn't convinced.
Still be able to get a large portion of your patrol services, things of that nature, and we can hopefully build on what we create. It won't happen overnight.
They're not taking into account for vacation, sick, paid leave, workers' comp, all those things, and backfilling on overtime when an officer can't be there.
The city says it wants to make a decision by the end of summer. Meanwhile, in Washington County, a rally against data centers at a farmhouse surrounded by them. Hillsborough in particular has 18 data center sites that are either up and running or under construction.
That rally from over the weekend is part of a greater nationwide pushback against data centers and their impact. Jake Holter was there.
Nationwide pushback against the continued construction of data centers in local communities. Hundreds rallying in Utah in opposition to a data center slated to be more than twice the size of Manhattan. Here in Hillsborough, dozens rallied in the rain to speak out against these data centers.
People need to wake up about what data centers are doing. They're increasing our electricity bills. They're taking our water. It's across the nation. And we're not happy, and people need to step up and say, no, this is not okay.
Data centers typically house computers or servers that store information like healthcare records, banking information, and cloud-based software. But the recent AI boom has led to a spike in energy-hungry data centers.
We've been asking about the effects of data centers in the area and the impacts on people, and all of that is behind a curtain that we're told we can't have, or it costs a lot of money for us to have.
Oregon State Senate District 15 candidate Myrna Munoz spoke at Saturday's rally, criticizing leadership for allowing data centers to qualify for tax breaks.
Forest Grove lost 51 teachers this year, and in Beaverton, they closed down a school. All this, they're telling us there's no money. In the meantime, that we're helping billionaires make more money, and I don't think it's fair to our community.
Munoz's opponent in the race, incumbent state senator Janine Solman, told KGW in a statement, quote, "My focus this weekend is on getting out the vote and talking with as many voters as I can. My record on this issue speaks for itself. I championed the Power Act to hold data centers accountable, and I've called for ending tax breaks for data centers statewide." Back in March, state leaders passed a one-year moratorium on data center tax breaks effective June 6th. Hillsborough received 17 applications between then and now for said tax breaks.
We need to be looking at what these things are going to do to us, to our children, and to our children's children, because now is the time to act.
The city of Hillsborough's website says there is now a pause in accepting new data center applications. Jake Holter, KGW News.
Your time now is 7:38. Taking a live look from our Oregon Zoo sky cam this morning. The sun's shining through. The water is glistening over there. Rod Hill is going to give us our forecast, which I can assume is nice.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. We're all dry this week. We warm up, but we warm up off of the 58 we had Saturday. the 66 yesterday. I don't think we get hot this week, so really a run of pleasant weather. The cloudiness that's been spilling overhead is mid to high level cloudiness that's going to continue to pass and continue to thin. So this has started off to be kind of a mostly cloudy to partly sunny sky day. It's going to turn out to be mostly sunny eventually. That was the reserve golf course from the Explorer Tualatin Valley camera. This is more of an overcast picture out along the Columbia as you look at the Interstate Bridge from the Springs at the waterfront in Vancouver, 48 degrees. Temperatures are cool. I mean, it's been a number of cool mornings in a row. 48 up in Camas right now, still 45 in Forest Grove. Again, these are current numbers. Still sitting in the mid-40s in Oregon City and Happy Valley. And Salem also reporting a temperature of 45 degrees. Phineas Fogg. What a great name. What a cute picture. This is our pet of the day at kgw.com. Send us your pet's photo and we will feature them on our show. That's Phineas Fogg this morning. Hello. A few frivolous showers, mainly up at elevation out across eastern Oregon this afternoon. Most of you have a good chance of just staying completely dry. 66 in Bend, again, increasing sunshine after the cloudiness continues to thin. That's moving overhead right now. This shows 60 at Tillamook later this afternoon and about 70 up and down I-5. I like Portland's chance of just getting up to 70. Tomorrow, another batch of passing cloudiness, might be a little more significant, 67. And then 74 Wednesday, up to about 80, but not going much above on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and still dry into Sunday, which of course is Memorial Day weekend. Here's Chris.
Okay, Rod, the good news is no injuries reported with this crash. The bad news is what a mess. We're talking about the I-5 northbound flyover ramp from I-5 north onto 217 north. The ramp is closed completely as crews now look like maybe they're going to offload this truck. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but they brought in the heavy equipment to get this truck that you can see in the background there is laid down on its side, uprighted, and then out of there. But at the moment, and for about the last 30 minutes or so, the flyover ramp has been closed to all traffic. So everybody trying to get out of like Tigard or Tualatin, Lake Oswego and try to get onto 217 north. Here's the deal. You're going to want to take maybe Boone's Ferry or continue on up to 99W. Recall that Carmen Drive is not a workaround right now because there's a section of that road that is closed through the summer for road work near Waluga Road in Lake Oswego. So the Cruiseway ramp is open, but traffic getting onto 217 north from I-5 north, that is a no-go right now and might be for some time as they work to get that crash clear. We'll certainly keep you posted on that. All right, drive times across the system, not terrible, although that trip from Wilsonville's building, obviously that logjam near 217 is adding to some of that 28 minutes. That's the drive right now from Wilsonville Road into downtown. Matthew?
Chris, thank you. With tornado caught on camera coming up, we have the latest in severe weather making its way across the central U.S. Don't go anywhere. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
KGW News at 11, tracking breaking news when every moment counts.
What an evening for neighbors as this all unfolded.
Alerting you when weather impacts your day.
Doppler radar showing all the rain over us.
Investigating the issues that affect our communities.
Investigative reporter Kyla Boshi has our top story.
And highlights from the teams you love most.
The champs are here.
The big stories and the facts first, so you can wake up prepared.
Stay up, stay informed with KGW News at 11.
Want more sunrise? We got you covered.
You can stream an extra 2 hours of live morning news on KGW streaming apps.
Good morning.
That means more local stories and extended coverage of breaking news.
Plus live weather and traffic updates as they happen.
And this is our first trouble spot of the morning.
We have a gorgeous day coming up.
We are live on KGW Sunrise weekday mornings from 5 to 9. Stream on your time with KGW.
In Washington, 4 people in King County are now being monitored for possible exposure to hantavirus. That's a strain linked to the cruise ship that we've been talking about the past few weeks here. One of the people being monitored was on board the ship. The other 3 were on a plane with a sick passenger who later tested positive for the virus. None of them have tested positive, but they are being monitored for symptoms. As of right now, a total of 6 Washington residents are being monitored in connection to the cruise ship outbreak. And that cruise ship arrived at port in the Netherlands earlier this morning after weeks at sea. Dutch officials have been preparing quarantine facilities for the 25 remaining crew members and 2 medical staff still on board. The ship will then undergo a full biomedical cleaning and will be disinfected. Meantime, over in Washington, law enforcement and marine researchers are looking into who carved initials into the body of a gray whale on Whidbey Island Beach. They were found about a day after it washed ashore, and according to officials, it's a violation of the Federal Marine Mammal Protection Act.
I don't want to say it's as tough as a tire on an automobile, but it took some effort depending on what kind of tool they used.
And the Central Puget Sound Marine Mammal Stranding Network says witnesses later reported people trying to cut baleen from the same whale's mouth. Photo witnesses and a time frame have been turned over to authorities. Violations can carry penalties of up to $10,000 and up to 5 years in prison.
But take a look at this video showing what appears to be a tornado moving through Palmer, Nebraska yesterday. Forecasters say this is the latest round in a multi-day stretch of severe weather.
And today, millions are bracing for more storms as more violent weather makes its way across parts of the central U.S. Sam Brock reports.
Oh my gosh, dude. This morning, volatile and terrifying spring weather coast to coast, with storms ripping through the Midwest overnight and dramatic tornadoes touching down yesterday in central Nebraska. Large tornado. Wow. Oh my God. The severe weather slamming communities across America's heartland.
Entire houses are gone. Power lines are down.
Where Howard County officials confirmed 2 homes near St. Labori suffered heavy damage from a violent tornado, with more devastation seen through these stunning aerials in nearby St. Paul. Torn rooftops, scattered debris, and shells of homes remaining, with more than 230 reports of severe weather and 25 reported tornadoes Sunday alone.
All right, that's our sirens, guys. Oh, here we go.
Stretching into South Dakota and even Iowa. There it is. Stunning, even to storm chasers. Wow. Gravity, Iowa here, tornado in progress. As the scope of the severe conditions came in many forms. Colorado battling wildfires in one corner of the state, while outside Denver, frigid temperatures and a deluge of hail. At the same time, the Northeast Corridor cooking with high 80 and 90-degree temperatures, creating a toasty Brooklyn half marathon with several cities now poised to break records.
Meanwhile, we're just kind of comfortable here, Rod.
Yeah, our 7 days dry and really nice. You know, often this time of the year when you get tornadoes, you have a clash between cold air incoming into warm air. And the temperature map across the country really highlights that this morning. So these are current temps. It's 39 in Denver. By the way, that hail and the chilliness they have is the same batch of air that dumped 16 inches of snow, if you haven't heard, up at Timberline Lodge over the weekend. Crazy. Anyway, so here's the clash. Cold air, Wichita 76, Little Rock 78. And again, the bullseye for severe weather today looks to be setting up between Kansas and Missouri, right in the nation's heartland. Good news as we look at the satellite, and you see the thunderstorms in Missouri, now over St. Louis and moving into Illinois outside Chicago. There currently are no tornado watches or warnings. And the only watches I could find, much of Missouri is blanketed with flood warnings, saying localized amounts from some of these storms could go as high as 4, 5, 6 inches of rain. And whenever you get 6 inches of rain in a 24-hour period, I don't care where you are, you almost always have issues. So they'll be looking for some high water spots from that convection. Here out west, though, it's really nice. We're all dry in California, Nevada. The NBC report said coast to coast. Well, not really. Our coast is looking really, really nice. We have pleasant weather coming today. We have some passing cloudiness this morning. We have thin spots in the cloudiness already, and I think these clouds will continue to move on, and we'll basically get into a mostly sunny afternoon. This is radar picking up some water droplets high in elevation. There's no rain reaching the ground out of any of this. Here's a look at thicker cloud cover currently right now along the coast. That's Seaside Live, where it's 48 degrees. You get inland, the clouds are already starting to show signs of thinning out with a little bit of filtered sun. Portland currently setting at 49 degrees. Here's our Wells Fargo vantage point. So that was looking, to the west over downtown. Now we're looking out to the east, kind of a different looking scene from the Wells Fargo camera, 49 degrees. Temperatures right now, another cool start. We're still sitting in the mid 40s in Salem and Kelso. It's 53 out in the Dalles. Right now 41 in John Day and 41 in Burns. So we think the afternoon becomes partly to mostly sunny and temperatures to get up to about 70 today, which will be a nice warm up on the back of all that cool weather that we had really much of last week and certainly into Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have 68 degrees expected in Longview today. Cloudiness to start, a mostly sunny afternoon coming. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. 7-day numbers 70 today. Portland, another batch of cloudiness passing tomorrow, might hold us down a little bit, 67. But then by Thursday, we're back up to about 80. I don't think we get any hotter than this. So overall, comfortable to warm weather, dry on Sunday at this point. Here's Chris.
All right, Rod, thanks for that. Back to our traffic alert on the 217 North flyover ramp. This is, again, the ramp from I-5 North to 217 North. It's been closed for about 45 minutes now as crews work to probably offload this truck that turned over about 2 hours ago. The good news is, again, no reported injuries with this. TVF&R telling us it was a single vehicle. The driver was able to get himself out okay with no reported injuries, but a mess now as they work to get this cleaned up. The 217 flyover ramp is closed, and traffic obviously is backing up a little bit around that. So your traffic solutions likely the Cruise Way on-ramp. Carmen Drive, though, it's just a reminder, that section is closed in Lake Oswego for ongoing road work. So maybe Boone's Ferry, Cruise Way ramp is open to 217, but the flyover ramp itself is closed, and that is going to be a problem here until they get that clear. Over on the east side, I-205 South, we've got a disabled semi, it looks like, near Lombard. So that's backing up to 205 South just a little bit, and the I-5 commute hits the brakes in North Portland. We're up to about 18 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge.
Thank you very much, Chris. Well, this restaurant is serving up more than just food with second chances. Still to come on Sunrise, how its partnership with the Portland Rescue Mission is helping people get back on their feet. Don't go anywhere. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in 2 minutes.
I'm David Mulco, the evening anchor at KGW. Though when I'm not working, I like to spend as much time as possible out here in nature. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. You see, what happens here affects us all. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to talk about it, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
I mean, just the aesthetics alone of it But then also to have something so big like this and it really show that, libraries are still an important thing that we should really encourage and continue to build bigger ones.
It was a fun-filled weekend in Gresham as Multnomah County celebrated the grand opening of the brand new East County Library. The nearly 100,000 square foot building is 2 stories tall with a free underground parking lot. It also has indoor and outdoor spaces, including an auditorium, an audio-visual studio, and a rooftop terrace.
I would say to meet people and check out books or look at books or find a place to read that's quiet. Or if you don't have good heat in your house, come down here.
The library is located on multiple bus routes as well as the Max Blue Line, so everyone can get to the space easily.
Our goal here is to give them that stability, something that they can launch out of, something they can really grow from.
An Old Town restaurant is helping people get back on their feet. Over at Dan and Louie's Oyster Bar, many of the cooks serving up food gained experience at the Portland Rescue Mission. Lead line cook Robert Swanson was one of the first employees at the restaurant they took a chance on. Now, through the mission, Swanson and others looking for a second chance are given the opportunity to learn in-house job training like cooking.
I know what it's like to be out there on the street. I was there. I spent a long time there. It's real easy to lose hope. This restores it. I don't know how to be able to explain it, but there's just that one moment that somebody gets, that somebody said, I get to be treated like a person.
After spending 3 to 6 months in the program, restaurant owners decide if someone would be a good fit at Dan and Louie's. So far, there's been about 8 success stories through the rescue mission.
Well, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with 46 years since the eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Ahead at 8:15, we're opening the KGW vault and traveling back in time to that historic day in 1980.